All right. Welcome, everybody. Appreciate your time. And we're going to go over goals, setting goals, going over time blocking, game planning. And this is more of a mastermind Zoom call. So I appreciate you being on. My name is Robert Weichelt. I'm a broker, associate, trainer, coach, mentor. I have about 40 agents that I mentor, and I have about 1,200 agents that I coach, train, and mentor across the country. So I'm super stoked that you're on today. Let's just dive right into it. The 2023 goal setting questions for real estate agents. This is more designed for us agents. Do you need goals? I have people say, no, I don't need goals. I just know what I need to do. Well, I don't know how many of you've tried to, try to fly a plane, but if you don't go through the checklist, it's going to be very difficult for you to fly that plane. A lot of people talk about they're stressed out, they don't have money, they don't have focus. Do you wish you had more focus? Do you wish you had more balance? I'm telling you, obsessed is the word the lazy use to describe dedicated. My point is, do you have goals for your life? Here's one thing, it's super important. So many people right now, they always use December. Here we are, December 2022, heading into 23. We're looking back. How did it look in 22? Did we arrive at our goals? Did we achieve what we set out to do in the beginning of the year? So many people look back and say, what worked? What didn't work? That's the biggest thing. Hey, this is working, do more of it. This isn't, do some in-flight adjustments and tweak it. But if you're tracking and measuring your numbers, you'll know what you need to do, what you need fixing. So I've talked to agents all over the country, and we always got to be asking ourselves, what worked, what didn't. So that's the big thing. So here's some of the things, kind of the top 10 list of things that we're doing when we need to set our goals. Are you wasting a lot of time in front of the computer? I'm not talking on a Zoom training like this. I'm talking about you jump on you see an email, then you hit the link, and then you're in YouTube, then it takes you to Facebook, then you're over on Instagram, then your next thing you know, it's 3 hours later and you've gone down that rabbit hole. Well, a good buddy of mine, every time I see this, I've been doing this for about 30 years, and he calls it monkey brain. Have you ever figured out when you see a link and you're like, oh, that's a cool YouTube video, then you look at another one that might be a little bit relevant, and that's pretty strategic, by the way. And next thing you know, it's like 2 hours later, you're like, how in the world did I get over here on TikTok? So my point is, don't get monkey brain. Don't go. Everything should be purposeful. So we need to be generating leads. We need to be prospecting during the prospecting hours. I have a saying, could this be done during the day, or could it be done in the late afternoon after hours? Because there's certain things you just can't do during the day, and there's certain things you just can't do at night. Like if it's calling clients and doing all those things, you need to do during the workday. But if it's a marketing piece or a postcard or something like that, you can do it after hours. Don't do those types of things during the workday. Are you a specialist? Have you picked a niche for your marketing? Whether it be REO like we discussed, whether it be calling FSBOs, expired, canceled, probate. Are you working your CRM? I know some agents that I coach, the only thing they do for their business is manage their CRM, their database. They do events that help them grow that database, whether it be community events. There's certain niches like geographical farms. I call it my hunting ground. Are you doing farming? Are you getting the list from the title company? Are you making phone calls? What about relocation? Find your niche, right? The riches are in the niches. You probably heard that before. Quit wasting money and spreading your self too thin. Find things that work best for you. For instance, me. You need to have your MLS and your car and NAR and all that stuff. And for agents outside, you have your local, your state, and your federal realtor associations. You need that. But also what you need to have a cash offer solution. Do you have it? If a seller says, hey, Robert, I want a cash offer on my property, can you provide that to them? Cash offer is a big deal. More and more sellers their first thing out of their mouth is, do you have a cash buyer? I want a cash buyer. Once they see the cash offer, they're like, well, wait a second, maybe I don't. What other solutions are there? And we'll go into that in a second. So do you have a cash solution? And I use the Homeboss online offers platform. It's either a cash solution or the highest and best price. I have both the things that they need. There's really not much more. So do you have those tools? And don't try to chase the shiny objects. There's so many things to distract us. Don't do that. Now, do you have a productive farm or social network? I personally like to work Allied Gardens, Del Cerro, San Carlos. That's where I live. I'll do community events in those areas. I'm not interested in growing my Carlsbad business as an example. I'm not saying I wouldn't take a listing there or I wouldn't work with anybody there, but I want to be the mayor of my community where I live. I live in Allied Gardens. So I want to work Allied Gardens, Del Cerro, and San Carlos. That's the community in which I want to have my community mixers. I want to do my video work in introducing, shop owners or restaurant owners or bar owners or dry cleaners. I want to be that guy, the resource. I want to be out there promoting. When I do my dry cleaning, it's in my area. When I go to dinners and restaurants and different things, they're in my area. I like to promote my community. Are you doing that? Now, here's another thing. You need to create better systems. So many agents don't really have great systems. Now, we have KV Core, which in my opinion is the best CRM on the planet. If you weren't with us, I think you're going to pay on the upwards of like $600 a month. It's a very robust system. But you know what the best CRM is? The one you'll use. You've probably heard that before, but my point is, it doesn't matter how much and how killer that CRM is. If you don't use it, it's worthless. So make sure you're setting up drip campaigns. You're following up with these leads. You need to, I can tell you, for years, I had the folder of all my buyers and sellers and all my leads I'm coming with. I'm finally getting to the point where it's all automated. I'm super excited by that. But you have a drip campaign. Are you dripping on your database? You need to. Discipline is just choosing between what you want now and what you want most. Make sense? Number 5, let's talk about spending money wisely. Spending money and time wisely. You've heard this before. Time is money. Well, if you're wasting your time, you're wasting your money. In my experience, each agent's different. Think about your strengths. Are you a networker? Are you going to go to meetup groups and next door? Some people like to get out there and network. I like to get out and network. Some people don't like to do that. They like to be more behind the scenes and not a real big networker. That's fine. What are you doing to spend your time in terms of prospecting and getting new listings, getting new sellers, getting new buyers, getting new clients? What are you doing? Okay. So spend your money wisely, because we can make a lot of money in real estate, but so many agents at the end of the year, they're broke. Maybe that's why they call us brokers, right? So my point is, spend your time and money wisely. Are you the market leader in your market? Do people know you as the go-to for real estate in your market? Whether it be buying, selling, or investing, or like I mentioned earlier, affiliated service. I have somebody, I need a roof, I need a painter, I need a plumber. Are you set up to be the market leader in your market? Design a real estate business plan with that in mind. Let's go over some of the goals and really dive into why we need our goals. Number 1, what do you want in your life? Why do you want it? Be positive on your future. Define your goals. For example, I want a motorhome. I want a 40-foot motorhome with 3 slides. I want it to look like this. Do you have a picture of it? Do you have a photo right in front of your desk? Because that's important to you. Do you have a picture of you inside it? A video of you inside it? You're test driving it. You're driving it. You're in it. Biggest thing is, when do you want it by? You may want something, but if you don't put a date on it, how are you supposed to arrive there? So get specific. Write down your goals. Organize your goals, your health, your relationships, your finances, business and personal. Read your goals when you wake up in the morning. Read your goals when you go to bed at night. Become a fanatic about it. Get them in here. Develop a monthly, annual, and 10-year and lifetime goals. Some people, they say, this is what I'm going to do for the next 12 months. Why are you doing that for the next 12 months? What's 5 years going to look like? What's 10 years going to look like? What does the next stage for you look like? Write them down, focus on your goals and visualize your goals. That's so important. You need to actually, seeing is believing, believing is achieving. I saw a truck. I was up there in Rancho Cucamonga last week, or actually this week, and I saw the truck that I'm looking for. I like the desert. I like to do all that stuff, and I need a big truck to pull my toys. And I saw this truck, and it was exactly, I mean, everything, the color, the lift, everything was exactly what I'm looking for. So what do? Boom, I took a photo of it, a couple different photos, and I put it on my vision board. Now it starts to become real. Does that make sense? So visualize your goals, make it happen. Focus on your goals. Decide what your goals that you're going to focus on. I see this all the time. I see agents having, well, I want all this stuff, and they're like totally confused. They've got way too many things going on. Get focused and decide which goals you're going to focus on, whether it be material. I know exactly the home I'm building. I know exactly when it starts construction. I know exactly the systems and the methods that I need to take to make sure that happens. What are you doing? What are you focusing on? Schedule time for focus. Every morning when I wake up, Carla and I, we meditate in the morning. We listen to music. We just get, one with trying to figure out what's going on. And then bam, we get going. Here's the biggest thing. Delete and eliminate interruptions. As you grow your team, you're going to get interrupted quite a bit. Do you have systems in place to ensure that doesn't happen? Delete and eliminate the interruptions. A lot of us work from home, and that's an easy thing to get distracted, especially when we're at home. When I come in my office, I'm at work. I am working, I'm focused. It's not, because in our business, we're realtors. We have a pretty flexible schedule, and that's why we like the business so much. I can't tell you how many times people say, "Oh yeah, you don't have any, a real job. Can you help me move, or can you help me do this, or can?" No, I'm working. So eliminate those distractions. Delete the distractions. Avoid urgent tasks. I see this. Somebody needs something right away. Oh my gosh, they need to right this second. I like to avoid urgent tasks. Those things get you off track. You need to handle things. Escrows come up. Things come up. But if you're proactive, saying, here's what to expect, here are the updates I'll be giving you, then you're proactively handling your transactions, then urgent doesn't come up a lot. You minimize urgent. Take action and focus on planning in advance. And then again, focus on your goals. Now, here's the big thing. Plan your life. Define your future. What does it look like? You spend 1% of your life planning on your goals and your life. Spend 2 hours per month planning on your month and goals before the first of the month. Every single day, what I do, and I'm not saying this is the right way, this is just what helps me. I close my day out and I have my list of things that are priority for the next day. I make sure that everyone's been contacted back. I return all text, all calls, all emails, everything. That's what I have a half an hour every single day where I go through everything that I need to do and make sure I'm set up for the next day. And every now and then you'll find like, oh my gosh, I need to get this done today. And you'll see that, oh wow, I'm glad I caught that. So I typically time block, and I'll show you my time block schedule in a second, but I time block end of day closing, and I have a beginning of the day and end of the day just to make sure I don't miss stuff. So I spend 1 hour spent planning worth 5 hours of doing, guys. So plan your life. Balance. Here's the key. Not everybody has balance. Everybody, we all have somebody like this, and may be you, where you're just running crazy like a chicken with its head cut off. Your hair's on fire. You're running all over the place, handling stuff. Decide on the balance you want in life between categories of life. So here's the thing. Spend more time on things that matter. Spend less time on things that don't. You really need to prioritize. Reduce your daily expectations. Don't put so many things on your plate that you're overwhelming yourself and get to nothing. Keep a scorecard. We do goals and actuals every single Monday, 8 o'clock. Goals and actuals. Are you doing all the things you need to do? Are you tracking and measuring your numbers? Keep a scorecard. That's a big deal. So let's talk about habits. Change your habits to change your life. That's a simple thing, but this is the perfect time. Everyone's doing the New Year's resolutions and all this stuff. I think that's great. You start at the beginning of the year. What's wrong with starting that habit now? You want to start prospecting, spending more time prospecting? Start it now. Start it now. Change your habits to change your life. Delete the bad habits. If you smoke, quit. If you're drinking too much, stop it. If you're not going to the gym, get to the gym. And just make the decision to get it done. I know it's easier said than done, but tell yourself this is what needs to happen and put it on your calendar. Start good habits. Start good new habits. Replace the bad habits with the good habits. Repeat the new habit 20 times to make it a habit. You've all heard that. It takes 20 times to form a habit. And what do they say? It takes 30 days to get a habit and 30 seconds to ruin it. My point is, get the daily habits that are easier and get started. I personally start off with making my bed. I know how simple that is. But when you make your bed, you've already accomplished something. It's awesome. It's like a big deal. Make the bed and keep a scorecard on your habits too. You know, the biggest thing is get the momentum going, okay? What's your perfect day look like? When you wake up in the morning, what do? You wake up, you go to the gym, you get your affirmations done, you walk doors. What are you doing? What does your perfect day look like? We all go to sleep and we all go to wake up. Somebody, is different. Some people are like into the 4 a.m. club. That's fine. If that turns you on, do it. Me, and not so much. But what are you doing? We all wake up and we all go to bed. What are you doing during that time? What makes sense? Do you have it on a calendar? Is it on your calendar and do you wake up at the same time every day? So you're on a routine, even on the weekends. Sometimes, I just sit there. I don't even set my alarm sometimes and I wake up at the same time anyway. Get enough sleep. Focus on your personal time too. So do you have a time block schedule? Now, one thing I think the biggest thing is we all do this. We all overcomplicate things. Simplify your life. Delete and eliminate negative energy. That's a big deal. Delete relationships that are toxic. Clients that are toxic. I can tell you this, as I've gone older into this business, there's less and less tolerant of stupid. I get an agent or a seller that's just not on the same page as me. We're not on the same page. It's just going to be a nightmare. Do I really want to work with that seller? No. Do I want to work with that nightmare agent? Or somebody that's just on different wavelengths than me? No, I do not. Go pick the people you want to work with. Delete the relationships that don't. Delete clutter. This is a big deal. Delete clutter. Now, my dad, God bless him, he never threw anything away, but he knew exactly where everything was. That doesn't work for me. I need to have a clear head, ready to go for the next day. A lot of times we put on too many tasks. Delete excess. Does that make sense? Simplify. Keep it simple. You've heard that term, keep it simple, stupid, right? KISS. Clear. This is key. Mark your goals clear. Make your goals clear. Make them understand. Like, for instance, I mentioned the motorhome that we want. I know exactly what it is. I know exactly how many slides it has. I know what the interior looks like. I know what it's going to cost. I know what it's going to take. I know everything about it. I'm very crystal clear. I know exactly when I'm going to get it, how much I'm going to put down, everything. Make sure you're crystal clear. Instead of some of us, like let's say we want this new car, and you take a picture of a car and you put it on a board, and that's great. You need to dive in. Make it crystal clear. I will have this car. Here's the color. Here's the video of me driving it. Here's when I'm going to get it by, and this is what I'm going to do to get it. Take it to the next step. Be clear. Be clear to your friends and your family about your goals. Share your goals with your spouse, your better half, your friends, your family, your agents in your organization, people in your neighbors. When you share your goals with folks, and share them with cheerleaders too. Share them with people that are totally can't wait to see you arrive at your goals. There's nothing worse than sharing your goal with somebody that's like, oh, that's too ambitious. You can't do that. They're deleted. Can you imagine you're sharing your goals with somebody and they say, oh, you can't do that. You need to immediately remove them from your circle of influence. Be clear with your friends and family. Be clear with yourself. Like I said, put it in your medicine cabinet. I want this many transactions. If it's transactional, if it's a material thing, if it's, I'm going to give to charity or whatever it is, write it down. And what is that going to do for you when you achieve it? What does that feel like when you achieve that goal? Okay, does that make sense? Clear your mind. And also this is the one thing I started doing a long time ago, and I don't do enough of it. Every single day I have this big old water bottle on my desk to remind me to drink water, guys. Little things that we get busy. So you have things that are, you're forced to remember to do it. So drink clear water. I think that's key. I can't explain this enough. Accountability. That's like repellent. Agents, they just don't like accountability, most of them. So share your goals with positive people, like we talked about earlier. Nothing worse than saying, I'm going to do 50 transactions this year, and someone go, oh my God, that's too high. You need to aim lower. Now, if I said I want to do 50 million, then I can see that would be unrealistic. Share your goals with positive people. I call them cheerleaders. Share your goals with your cheerleaders. Hold yourself accountable, but also share those goals with accountability partners. Every Monday we have a goals and actuals class, and it's the accountability. It's every Monday at 8 a.m. Pacific, and we do goals and actuals, and we do accountability. Hold yourself accountable and focus on those. Track your monthly success goals. Are you tracking and measuring? That's a big deal. If you need to make 100 contacts so you can get 20 appointments to get 4 new listings, you need to track and measure those numbers. Are you tracking and measuring? Accountability is key. Share your goals with positive people. But more importantly, happiness. If you're not happy, I don't care what's going on, you need to be happy. So I always say, don't worry, be happy. And then as soon as you do that, you trigger that song, don't worry, be happy. You've heard that song? Smile. You ever talk to somebody on a Zoom call and they're like pouting or pissed off? What happens to the whole energy of the call? It's not going well. But if you're excited, you're like, let's do this. You can't help but be excited. Celebrate your success, guys. Whether it be, hey, if I get this listing, when I get this listing, I'm going to buy myself a tie, or I'm going to buy myself whatever. Celebrate your success. I'm going to go to dinner with my wife or my partner or my friends or my clients or whatever. Celebrate your success. I'm not saying run out and buy a Lamborghini every time you close a big deal. I'm just saying celebrate your success. List your accomplishments, your wins, your victories. Celebrate. One thing I did is I interviewed this year. I did a lot of interviews. I have Weichelt Wednesday. I interview top agents from all over the country. And the 70 agents that I interviewed, who averaged, by the way, 100 million in sales in just November to November, those are big numbers. $100 million in production is a big deal. Every one of them were passionate and had written goals. Every one of them visualized, and they have other mastermind techniques. They do mastermind calls. They're always in positive. They're reading. They're putting positive things in their head. Success leaves clues, guys. Okay. So with that said, in my opinion, the best way to do this is have a concrete plan. Do you have a plan for 2023? Do you have a concrete plan? Is it written down? It could be on scribble. That's fine. But is it clear? Isn't it precise? The goals must be written down to be real. I can resort back to when I was in, say you're in school and you're making your little cheat sheet because you want to remember everything and And once you've done that, and then you're like, oh, wow, I remember everything. You got to write it down. Okay. It keeps the motion. It keeps everyone happy. I'm telling you, if you're not happy, get happy. So let's talk about the time block real quick. Time blocking is a simple process. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you need to block everything in. What time you wake up, you can see it says wake. I have wake up on my calendar. I have bedtime on my phone at 10 o'clock. My phone at 9:45, my phone rings and it says time for bed, best place, home. I mean, those are the kind of reminders that I've set up. As corny as that sounds, I'll be out and say, with friends and we're out taking a little longer at dinner, say, and then my alarm will go off and it says bed. I need to be in bed in 15 minutes. I mean, it's kind of a fun, just saying, hey, I gotta go kind of thing. Are you time blocking? Because the most important thing is you want to have a navigation. You have a plan. You're going here and this is what it's going to take to get there. I call it like in-flight adjustments. We all get distracted. The time block serves as a way to get you back on track. When you get off track with an emergency, get off track with something that needs to be addressed, then you get back on track by looking at your calendar. That's what I want you to do, is define your calendar and time block it. And really think, what am I wake up at this time, I go to bed at this time, this is what I'm doing during my waking moment, okay? Now, 23 is going to be the best. It's going to be the best year ever, in my opinion. Are you doing everything that you need to do? Are you being disciplined? Are you writing everything down? This market we're going into is, it's uncertain. What are you doing to make sure it's the best year ever? Think about that. Think about what you're doing to make this the absolute best year ever. And at the end of the day, guys, if you want accountability, you can jump on our accountability calls every Monday at 8 a.m. Because I have this saying, this is when Facebook first came out. This was my first profile photo. Anyone can be cool, but being awesome takes practice. I have little things that remind me that I'm awesome on my desk. I have constant reminders that are helping me always stay focused. They're my triggers. What are yours? So our accountability calls are every Monday at 8 a.m. You can certainly schedule a time one-on-one with me to kind of go through what it is you're doing in your business. I would certainly love to reach out and speak with you about that. But with that said, it's been my pleasure, absolute pleasure to go over some of the things that I'm doing in 2023. Super stoked. I can't wait. So this is Robert Weichelt with EXP. I look forward to meeting any of you. Just click my Zoom link and let's schedule some time. I appreciate you guys so much.